Grown Black folks talk, the Wisteria Epiphany, and grown folks joy. Okay, remember that Wisteria video we did a couple of days ago? I just stopped everything and let that be my content for the day. Okay, that was the visible part, the conscious part of a subconscious thought, train of thought I've had ever since I saw a video by subscriber Samri Bliss. I have put this video in the description. Let me make sure I get the name right. How to befriend Black women slash girls. And this video, I want you to go and I want you to watch it. I'm not going to steal her thunder. This is her story time. But it really tells you how it is that people relate to Black women in the world and really gives you a hint of how we relate to each other. And the epiphany that it gave me, that it started me toward when I saw the Wisteria was, there are a lot of representations of Black women. And we talk a lot about the really bad ones, but we are seeing some of the better ones. Shout out to Kamala Harris, shout out to Supreme Court Justice Jackson, of us being fitted for the highest offices in the land. Kamala Harris is biracial, vice president biracial, but still a lot of Black women have sort of adopted her. You know, Meghan Markle's biracial, but a lot of Black women sort of support her being a whole British princess at this point. So we see that kind of representation, but what we do not have enough of is Black women just experiencing joy, or just being beautiful in the presence of beautiful things. So we talked about a lot of heavy things. I mean, a lot of heavy things in the previous 2 weeks. There's a lot of heavy things going on. But the day of the Wisteria was also the same day that Justice Jackson was voted by the Senate to be our next Supreme Court Justice. So I paused there because sometimes we need to have joy. So the next video I posted, I did my open mic entry for the High Black platform. Every week you'll probably see those coming out. And today I just did a funny story where I had no idea that people were using peach cobbler recipes to make lasagna. Adventures in Dominant Society Cuisine. Why is that there? You can look at me in the video. I'm trying not to laugh because I wanted that to be short. But this was hilarious to me. Being seen in our joy. Do you know that the most attractive thing about any other human being is actually joy? And this is also why Miss Bliss video is so important for you to look at, because you look at how Black women are approached in the world by other women and even sometimes by Black women. You know, Black girl magic is wonderful. But see, a magician is expected to come and do magic in situations that other people can't solve. And it's a very, if all you are is a magician, you're no more human than anybody else. You know, we talk a lot about struggle love and Black women being seen as the mules and all the rest. One of the ways out of this, we need to represent each other, seeing each other enjoy. Now, there's another YouTube creator, I believe it's Real Talk with Yanni, who in her community representation showed herself and a friend having joy today. I noticed that. And y'all saw the short that if you've seen the short that I did, I was on my way back from having walked 2 miles, having done some errands, having stopped to eat. And in having stopped to eat, stopped somewhere and just was tickled by their idea of lasagna. But just to be seen enjoying life. So we're going to get back to heavy topics over here. There's always going to be heavy topics to go through. But sometimes as I go through my life, I'm also going to do my part to represent unambiguous Black women experiencing joy. And this is somewhat new for me. I can dig into topics heavily. If you go back and read through, very rarely do you have a funny topic for me. I'm very good at it. But there's something we need to, like I said, when you listen to Miss Bliss's video, you will understand why that Wisteria caused that epiphany. Because if our girls are going to have a chance at understanding that it is okay for them to experience joy. One more thing, because today's Sunday morning. So here's the other thing about this. Remember, we talked about the 5 kinds of emotional strength, and we talked about moral codes and so forth. As a Christian, you also have to look at the fact that there is a straight up command about this. Now, this is never preached in church because the way we do church in the United States of America is a lot about survival. Now, if you listen to Miss Bliss, you also find out that the Black church is not in the United States. The first big church that there ever was outside the church in Jerusalem was at in Ethiopia. That was the first major denomination, and it was larger than it was older and larger than the Roman Catholic Church for a very long time. But okay, that's a whole nother video. When the Apostle Paul, no less than the Apostle Paul, is rolling off his letter to the Philippians, this is in the last set of things that he has to say. Now, again, this is specific understanding to the Christian. If you're not a Christian, all of this does not apply to you. But for me as a Christian, I was reminded of this as I was thinking about putting this video together today. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Now, here is the deal, y'all. Many commentators focus that on the Lord Jesus Christ, and that is correct, because altogether, he's the faithful and true. He's certainly noble means princely. He's the Prince of Peace. He's always right. He's definitely pure. He's definitely lovely. And of course, he's admirable. But the rest of the verse said, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, which also means that you get to enjoy all the things in the world that he has made because Christ is God. Now, I recognize not everybody believes that. So if you don't, that's a conversation for another day. But if you step back from that for just a moment, it would suggest that if this is the command for a godly life, that this would be good for anybody. People, Wisteria is beautiful. If you are not a Christian, you still live in common grace. Common grace, the grace to be alive and to be able to enjoy being alive, is beautiful. I just got off the phone with someone who has about a month to live. The blessing of being alive and in good health to be alive. Like I walked 2 miles today in the middle of doing my errands and enjoying everyone. That alone is beautiful. The beauty of joy and the joy of beauty is something that we don't spend enough time thinking about. But there will always be problems for us to solve. The Black community will, for a very long time, if we don't make certain decisions by 2053, permanently will be in a situation where we have major problems as far as the United States of America is concerned. And of course, the United States of America is in big trouble too. In the midst of all this, one of the most powerful things that anyone can ever experience and share with anyone else is joy. The Negro spiritual was how our ancestors, in the middle of what they had to go through every day, got themselves through, because when they were singing, they experienced joy. When they were doing their rain shouts, they were experiencing joy. It is one of the most powerful tools that we have, and as Black women, we don't focus on it as much as we can, and we do not have as much of the representation of it. So from time to time, like when I walk and see something exceptionally beautiful, like eventually I'm going to go back to Lake Alfred. I will go and I will get some footage of Lake Alfred just being beautiful. Not a whole lot, but break this up a little bit. Experience beauty and joy, because that is part of a Black woman's representation. And by the way, for those of you who are actively looking for mates, you know what the most attractive thing is? It is very hard to outshine a Black woman at any age in her joy. That's just a little extra tip, because I keep hearing these stories of these 50 and even 60-year-old Black women who are beautiful women, because you know what it is? Joy. They've learned how to enjoy their life, and a mate comes by, often hypergamous, and comes by and wants to enjoy that with them. So for those of you who are actively doing that right now, I just put that out there. But the thing is, joy is good for you. Beauty is good for you. Beauty is good for us. Now, I'm going to call it grown folks joy because Black men deserve to have joy too. We are human beings. We all need joy. I know that there are fights, serious fights going on between Black men and Black women in these spaces. But I read the story today of a 19-year-old young man who said, you know what? He was listening to a Black woman and he said, I'm going to take a gap here. I'm going to get therapy. I'm going to get counseling. I'm going to deal with my daddy issues because it's not my mom's fault that all this stuff went wrong. She had to do the best she could. And I'm going to go deal with my issues so that I can get my life together and do the right thing. I listened to the story of one of the parents of a Black woman who helps Black women literally leave the country to be able to use their money and have joy, talking about how he has his own routines and encourages her to have her own routine and do the things she enjoys in life so that he has his things that he does to bring joy so he doesn't put the whole burden on her, and she has her routine so she doesn't put the whole burden on him, and together their daughter is changing the world for Black women. And of course, my dad, my grandfather, and a number of my friends, I know that there are Black men who represent that. And if you are a Black man that is not out here making trouble, if you're a Black man who's out here doing the darn thing, you deserve to have joy too. So it will not be all flowers. I will try to remember to keep in mind there's a whole spectrum of things that people find beautiful. So we'll be in the San Francisco Rose Garden, but we may also go to the top of the hill again and get some beautiful views, just so that everybody can connect to this, because it is important for us to experience and represent ourselves experiencing joy. Eventually, public places will be opening up, and if they're performing public domain music, or I may be able to pull one of my choirs together, and we will also be able to do content that has that as well. That's down the road, but I had an epiphany. It started with Samri Bliss. Thank you again, Miss Bliss. You're one of my subscribers. I appreciate it. I do listen to your stuff. I learned a lot from that. Between Samri Bliss and the Wisteria, this is how I had this epiphany. So it'll happen when it happens. You can't force joy, but look to see grown folks' joy also interspersing with the heavy subjects that we also do on here. Another thing I'm working on now is good conversations. I thought I was going to have all of these during Black History Month, but I didn't account for the fourth death in a row. 4 deaths. Now I had to go sit my tailbone down, be humble, and try to recover. But I have not forgotten. I have some people I need to send some emails to. So we're going to start to have grown folk conversations with people who you need to know about and know things that are going on. And again, representation of Black men and Black women, it'll be, I'm trying to figure, is it 50-50 or 60-40? So that you can understand that Black people are able to change their situations and take joy in that too. All right, we're done for the day. I've got to do a little bit of something to have something to eat that tastes like it's supposed to after having the butternut lasagna peach cobbler incident today. Yes, I still can't believe they're selling that. I still can't believe that happened. I still can't believe that happened. But anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. All right. Thank you for listening. Bye.